Also, just before the review starts, guys, I just want to let you know I was playing alone for most of these clips, so I was listening to music and actually, I think I was just listening to like Wings of Redemption videos. But yeah, sorry about the background noise, and I won't have it in the next video. Anyways, peace. Yo, what's going on, everyone? I have a new review today. It's going to be on the Xtrfy M42, and it's not a new mouse, obviously. It's just going to be like a year later kind of thing. And to be honest, it's held up okay in some ways and really bad in other ways. But first off, like the shape, it feels so good. I changed my grip. It's not like a standard claw anymore. Like just this, my middle finger is just like out a lot more, and then like everything else is claw grippy. But it accommodates my grip very well. As you all know, I have very small hands, very tiny, nimble hands. And because this is like a small mouse, it actually accommodates to the small hands a lot more. And it is like a really short mouse too. Like this is the one of the few mice I can actually get all the way to the top of the mouse with. It has to be like one of my favorite shapes, honestly. And like I know that sounds like really bad considering like the Endgame Gear XM1 exists, the G Pro Superlight, like tons of better shapes do exist, but this is one of my favorites. Although what's not my favorite is the holes on the side. They're actually really fucking annoying. They're very annoying to me. And I wish they would revamp this mouse just with no holes on the side. Mainly because like over here on my ring finger, I can like on this part of like my ring finger, it'll like dig into the hole and like stay there. So if I pull back like that, it like rips my finger, and it was super uncomfortable to have that happen. So I had to put universal grip tapes on, and this side is only there because it's kind of slippery. Like there's really no grip. Like if I do this, I can't hear anything, and typically that's like a really bad sign. If I don't hear anything, it kind of shows that like there's not a whole lot of grip from the coating, but it's smooth, which is, I guess, a benefit. So this one is just like to hold the mouse. This was like, I don't want to develop a callus on the end of my finger. In terms of like the buttons, like I know a lot of people shit on this mouse for having bad Omrons, but I don't know if I got like a good copy, but this has to be probably one of my favorite implementations of Omron 20Ms too. They're super tactile for me, and then they're really crispy. And like I said, it could just be my copy. A lot of people said that like the mouse buttons were shit, so I'm just gonna assume that I got a good copy, or maybe a defective one. Maybe they were meant to be shit. I don't really know. Side buttons feel pretty normal. Like there's nothing like super out there about them, but they're right above the thumb, which is really nice. And then there's barely any pre-travel, but not a lot of post-travel. And then you can spam them, which is pretty nice too. I also turned off the RGB because my camera just could not pick up this mouse, like the detail on it without the RGB being off. I'll put it on later. But in terms of like the scroll wheel, I don't know if I like really tactile scroll wheels or really smooth ones anymore. I know I dislike extremes like the S2C scroll wheel. I really do not like that scroll wheel. But then there's ones like the G Pro Superlight, which I really like that scroll wheel, but it's like really soft. So I'm not too sure which one I like more, but this is a very soft scroll wheel. You're not going to have any issues like going up and down. It's very silent too. The click in is like really average, nothing too impressive there. There's a lot of DPI steps on this mouse. Actually, this is one of the cool things that I find about this mouse. Most mice have the standard 400, 800, 1600, and 3200. This thing has like 9 steps. It's super weird. I don't know how they managed to get 9 steps on their sensor, but it's pretty cool. I have not had any spinouts. No issues with latency either, even after like a year of it being around. The mouse feet are ass. They're horrible. I'm using a textured pad, and usually on textured pads you can feel the mouse feet a little bit better, and these feel horrible. Really scratchy. On a cloth like control pad, it'll feel fine. But if you use like a Hien, or if you use a GameSense Rush, or what's another rough pad? Like an Odin Infinity. These feet are going to feel fucking terrible. Like you can feel how scratchy they are on a rougher surface, and it makes it just hyper ass. So if you do want this mouse like on a textured pad, just get core pads or something a little bit smoother. And then they're not rounded either. Like right here, you can see like it's very, very sharp, even on the top. Really, really unfortunate. They're also like paper thin to me. Like they're just not as thick as I'd like them to be. But as everyone knows, I'm very spoiled with core pads and Tiger Ice feet. And then in terms of like build quality, that is like the biggest issue I've had with the mouse after so much time is tons of creaking on the side, and the top and bottom all have creaking for me. And I'm putting a lot of pressure on the top and bottom, like a lot more than the sides, but the sides still creak very, very easily. The top, I kind of give a pass because it's a modular shell, so you can like take off the top. So this is kind of like, it's no surprise that it would have creaking in that area, but the sides is a huge letdown. Sometimes it creaks up here on the buttons also, which is also a letdown. The bottom, it doesn't activate the DPI switch, so it's not a big deal to me. And plus, like, when am I going to be doing this? You know what I mean? Cable. Fucking horrible. This is probably the second worst cable. No, this is the worst cable I've ever used on a mouse, actually. I take that back. The Ninjutsu mouse cable might be shit, but it's not this shit. It is... I can hear a noise when I slam this thing. It's so goddamn thick. It's a very, very thick cable. They said they were going for longevity, whatever the fuck that means. So they made it like super thick. So I guess you won't have to worry about it breaking or crumpling or something, but at least it like straightens out a good bit. I give it a lot of give just because like the shooters that I play, there we go. The shooters that I play, I have to like move my mouse around a lot. So I did give it a bit more give, and then it like stays flat on the pad anyway. So that's also something to look towards also. Like just know that the cable might be dragging on your pad, sadly. But that's pretty much it for the review. Love the shape. I love how the clicks feel. I really do want them to revamp this mouse with all the new features they've been adding in their current mice from Xtrfy. I want them to do KO 8.0s because the MZ1 has like amazing implementation of KO 8.0. It's the only mouse that, in my opinion, can rival the Endgame Gear XM1 in terms of like implementation with KO 8.0s. Sensor doesn't really matter to me, whatever they choose, just because like I've never had an issue with any Xtrfy mouse with censoring. But yeah, and then the sides, I'd really prefer it to just not have these holes because they're really, really uncomfortable after long sessions. And then their new cord, because their new cord is really nice. It's really, really nimble and really light too. It's a really, really good improvement. I'm really impressed with how they improved their new mouse. And then also their new feet. Their new feet on the MZ1 is really good. But on this new M4, I don't know if it's just because of how the feet are designed, but they don't feel like the MZ1 feet. I can feel more texture on this mouse than on the M42, which is super, super weird, by the way. But yeah, that's pretty much all for the M42 review. I'm going to have some clips in the end. I don't think I had too many. I don't really remember. I'll figure that out while editing. But my next review is going to be on the Yuki Aim mousepad because a lot of people are asking for it. And so far, first impressions, really smooth. It just doesn't feel like anything special yet. It could after some use. I literally have not used it at all. And then after that, it will be the M4 new Kriparian red version. Very excited for this mouse, actually. I know I said I absolutely hate ergos, but this is actually a pretty good ergonomic shape. It fills my hand where I want it to be filled, and it leaves the parts that I don't want filled unfilled. And then it's small. It's not, I wouldn't really consider this a medium-sized ergo mouse. I would definitely consider this more small because I haven't seen any ergo mouse this small yet. But yeah, that's pretty much all for the video. Just wanted to get this update out, and then also a review on a mouse. Finally, I'm losing my goddamn mind with mouse pads. I want to review mice. But yeah, so I just wanted to make that. Oh, and then the RGB, very, very pretty. Wow, increase your aim by 10%. But yeah, I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.
If I could keep myself busy without control, without my hands or my brain doing a video game, I would. Like Like, I don't enjoy the path. I don't live in this sought after life. Like, you might look at it, you might enjoy my life in like about a week period of time, but you understand I've been doing this shit for 10 years. 10 years of this. Looking at this movie. I don't give a shit about movies. They're all nasty and negative. They either make
Dude obviously doesn't think the life. I mean, watching his videos, like, man, just for knowing what I know. I don't know this is but
Haha, you motherfucker!
Reloading.
Oh, what the fuck?
I'm trying to bully that dumb kid.
Dude, I don't want to end up in his YouTube video, bro.
oh, I shot at you.
Están campeando los hijueputas. Fuck you, man. Fucking piece of shit.
Reloading.
Oh my god.